So first question is, yeah, so why are you here? What's your objective? Like,
Well, to get our England back the way it was.
how do we do that, and what is the England to you?
England to me is Christianity. Well, just our English way of life.
How do we get back to that though?
Well, getting rid of this government for a start.
Are you happy for your tax money to fund what's going on in other countries like Israel, Ukraine?
I agree with Israel after October the 7th. Yeah, I don't disagree with what they've done, but I do disagree with boat people coming over here and getting in front of our own people that are homeless, getting put up in hotels. Yeah, I disagree with that entirely.
Did you know that we send more tax money to Israel than we send to
Good.
the asylum seekers?
Pleased.
But you know that causes immigrants to come over as well, because when we're bombing Palestine, we're helping Israel bomb Palestine.
They could stop at the other countries, they're 10, 15 countries they come through, but I think they're on an easy ride over here, so they come here.
What about Ukraine? Are you happy for your tax money to go over there as well?
Yes, I think Ukraine have got to defend themselves, otherwise Putin will take over Russia. Yeah, take over, get back to the old USSR, yeah.
And your rules the waves. Britons never, never, never will be slaves. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves.
What are you? What do you believe in? Are you a Christian? Are you a Jew? What would you say? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian.
I'm a Christian, yeah. I've been pushed more. So I used to say that I didn't believe. My mum was a Catholic, brought up. But then as I've seen the attacks on Christianity, and I've also seen the decay in British society, and the fall of Britain has come from the fall of belief. We have since we've stopped believing, and what built Great Britain? Christianity. What built everything about us, everything about our nation that everyone wants to come to it and make it a success was built on Christianity. Since that's descended, since it's been coming under attack, since people have left it, it's left a void. And that void's being filled. And if we want to understand and remember who we are, as part of our identity, I say to some people, even if you don't believe in Christianity, you don't have to believe in Jesus. That's what built us as a nation. That must be protected. That's part of our identity. But when it comes to the Israel and Jew things, I think Qatar, if you look at Qatar spent nearly £750 million in funding Islamic organisations across Europe. Yeah? Radical jihadist mindset. Qatar.
I then, in 2009, like 5 years later, I set up the English Defence League. I set that up based on my own principles, which were anyone can join. We actually went on to have a Sikh division, a lesbian and gay division, a Jewish division, anyone that's affected by these problems, because I've grown up in a town where I don't care about other cultures. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. None of that bothers me.
I'll tell you the truth. I was brought up a Catholic. I christened my kids a Catholic. I wish I didn't. I christened my kids a Catholic for my mum. My mum's a devout Catholic. I'm not.
I was brought up Christian, born into a Christianity, like most people are born into their religion, I guess. Always assumed there was a God and a Santa. I think I stopped believing in God the same year I stopped believing in Santa, but I think God beat Santa to it. Although I kept quiet about Santa for longer, because I thought, well, I know it's Mum and Dad, but if I expose that, do I stop getting presents? So I get quiet for a little while. You're surrounded by it, and I don't think my mum was particularly religious, but as I've said before, as a working class woman, Jesus is like an unpaid babysitter. It just helps her bring up. So they think, if I'm not watching you, Jesus is. It's that sort of thing. It's to curb bad behaviour. It's to instill morality. Again, so they think, because traditionally religion is associated with morality and good behaviour. Obviously, we know that's a random relationship. There's absolutely no relationship to good behaviour to any religion versus any other religion or lack of religion. You're either a moral person or you're not. And no religion owns or invented morality. Yeah. But yeah, I've read the Bible. Obviously, as a Christian kid, 5 to 8, you read the New Testament. But I was fascinated with the Old Testament as well. The bits they know have changed. Obviously, that wasn't Christian when it was written. Obviously, Abrahamic. Yeah. It was. I mean, if you also, I've got no problem with spirituality. You know, I've got no problem with people believing, you know, there's a God or they go to heaven or praying, and fine, it doesn't affect me. Religion's something different, isn't it? Religion's something different. Religion is like, it politicizes it. It's like religion came along and went, oh, you believe in that God, do you? Well, it'd be better if you believed in this God, because this God does things that I like. So do that, do this ones. And then you go, okay, I believe in your God. Right, okay, well, then religion went, well, I know God, and he wants you to give me some money, and then you will go to heaven. That's religion. So you only have to look at the Old Testament to see it was written by men of the time. I mean, it really did favour the men that wrote it. But yes, I've explored it. I explore it every day. I'm surrounded by it, and even when I stopped believing, you know, and because I got into science, you know, you still have to. You know, you're part of society, so you question it. You question rules, and then I studied philosophy, which you know, everything in theology is, they use philosophy as logical thinking. From the ancient Greeks to modern day philosophers like Bertrand Russell, they've all pondered, why do people believe in this? What's the evidence?
We're just here asking everyone, what's the reason you're here today? What are you trying to achieve?
What do you think is?
I don't know, you tell me, I'm asking you.
We want England back.
Mate, I've got a 5-year-old daughter, I've got a 14-year-old daughter. It's the safety of our women and children. Their beliefs are totally wrong due to, like, obviously what we believe in. This is a Christian country. Yeah, we look after everyone. Come over the right way, we ain't got a problem with that. It's not about the colour of your skin. We keep getting classed as racist. We're not far right. We're just worried about our women and children. Right. Tempers are flaring now because we're paying for this and they're kicking off moaning saying we've only got 2 controllers for our PlayStation. I work 5 days a week, yeah, the government take near enough half my money, and it's not fair.
So basically you're sick of your tax money funding asylum seekers and all that?
On the wrong thing. Look at our NHS. Our NHS is crumbling. It was never designed for the infrastructure of how many people we've allowed to the UK.
Are you happy for your tax money to fund a genocide in Gaza though, like it's funding Israel? Because you know we send a lot more...
It. That's another thing. They're not getting it. The governments are taking it.
Who's not getting it?
All the governments. All this aid that we send out, yeah, most of the governments take it. Look how much we've sent to Africa. We sent all this money out, yeah? Where's it all going? The soldiers take it, the politicians take it. It's all corrupt.
So you're happy for your money to fund Ukraine and Israel though?
To a certain extent, yeah.
But you know, more money goes to Ukraine and Israel than the asylum seekers.
Yes,
it does.
No, I'd disagree on that. I would literally disagree on that. It's not like that. From what we're seeing, we're just the ethnic minority, you know. You've got good and evil, yeah? The Bible, Christianity, is good. The other one's pure evil.
Did you not think that the reason we get loads of immigrants though is because we're funding these wars that are destroying our hometown?
Because it's easy. Come over on a boat, you get everything.
We don't give a about them. As long they come to our way of living.
More than 100,000 people gathering to march in central London, a sea of flags.
Welcome to Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips.
It's quite possible that the person most taken aback by the huge turnout at yesterday's Unite the Kingdom demonstration was its organiser, the hard-right activist known as Tommy Robinson. 150,000 people crammed into central London, most carrying national flags, the Union Jack, the Cross of St George, even the Scottish saltire. Protesting about immigration, about free speech, and about the decline of Christianity. There was some fearsome rhetoric, including from Elon Musk, who called for the overthrow of the British government. At the margins, there was some hooliganism. But I think that for those who oppose Robinson and his ilk, the most alarming aspect of the event was just how normal the vast majority of the marchers were. I spent an hour or two amongst them, and my own impression was that they were mostly the sort of people you'd meet in a country pub or in half-time queue for the loo at football or at a concert.
Been in Manchester of the weekend. I was stopped by countless people who wanted to talk about Epping, that said they've never protested in their life, that are coming down on trains to suddenly, on the 13th of September, to protest our government. Now, at the end of the day, the Overton window has shifted massively. The majority of people are with us on this. No one wants violence at these protests, and I condemn violence, right? We can do this.
There was a sprinkling of black and brown faces, and the event was brought to a close by a gospel group singing Jerusalem. All that must worry the traditional mass parties, Labour and Conservatives, now polling at less than 40% between them. They're draining support to parties like Reform and the Greens. And yet, a man recently out of jail, condemned as an extremist thug by most mainstream media outlets, can rally a demo the size of the entire population of Cambridge or Blackpool. A feat you couldn't imagine either Sir Keir Starmer or Kemi Badenoch pulling off anytime soon. Perhaps the people are sending us all a message. Let's see if anyone at Westminster's listening.
It is billed as a march to unite the nation, but it could be that the many thousands filling the streets of central London today emphasise also Britain's deepening divisions. They gathered under the red, white and blue, the climax of a summer of protest by those who believe they are losing control of their country.
Sooner or later we're going to be the minority in our own country, and that's scary. I mean, some of it is to do with population. We're not having as many children anymore.
Is that not a racist thing to say?
No, I don't think so.
We're right in what we're doing. If they want to call us far right, so be it. We're right, we believe in what we're doing.
I'll be honest, I'm out of my depth. I'm already out of my depth with politics. I know Trump's in charge in America. Kim Jong-un is still in charge, I think. Who else do I know? What's her name? Merkel. Is she still in charge? That's right. I don't know. Trudeau. That's it. Fuck me, that's it. That is, and I'm not even confident over some of them. Fucking hell. Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter who's in charge. Doesn't matter who's in charge. They're all in it for themselves. Keep out of it. Just stay in. If the economy collapsed, it wouldn't matter if I could afford deliveries, because it would be money would be worth nothing. Would there be like marauders? Would it just go back? If the economy completely collapsed, right? No law and order, no, banking system, or no politics. Just we're all just feral. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go yet. Putin, yeah, I know Putin. This is like politics for fucking second grade.
The tinderbox summer of protest promised by activists never truly caught flame. Instead, a slow burn of nationalism, maybe more powerful for it, and this was the culmination. More than 100,000 people gathering to march in central London, a sea of flags. Unite the Kingdom was the all-encompassing slogan, drawn widely enough to mean different things for different people, whether that was free speech or immigration.
Why are they coming in like that? Surely that's wrong. Why I wouldn't skip on a boat and go to another country and hop off and expect to be well looked after. But apart from that, this is just United Kingdom.
Just to stand up for what I believe in. Yeah. We're losing identity of our country and somebody needs to stand up and fight for it.
People may have had different reasons, but they came for the same person. At the centre of it all, the anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson. None of his previous rallies had drawn a crowd this big. And what's newer too is the overt displays of Christian nationalism. When the crowd assembled, they were led in a chant of Christ as King, and then the Lord's Prayer.
Hallowed be thy name.
As the heavens opened. 4 giant screens were set up along Whitehall. Organisers said the area was completely full. When Robinson took the stage, it was more like a football match or a festival than a political rally.
We weathered the storm, and today we are the storm.
My mum has been telling me about this march, and I really wanted to go and support London.
This was certainly the largest nationalist rally in recent memory. For those here, it was not just the cap to a long summer of discontent, but the start of something bigger.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations, Tommy, on putting together an amazing event and really rallying the people of Britain.
Elon, none of this could have happened without you giving the British public access to the truth and giving us free speech and fighting for our free speech. So on behalf of Great Britain and the British public, we're incredibly grateful, Elon.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations, Tommy, on putting together an amazing event and really rallying the people of Britain.
Elon, none of this could have happened without you giving the British public access to the truth and giving us free speech and fighting for our free speech. So on behalf of Great Britain and the British public, we're incredibly grateful, Elon.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome, and you may notice this T-shirt that I'm wearing. It's great British author George Orwell. What would Orwell think? I think that's generally a good way to look at these things. He would want freedom of speech. He would want the people to know what's real. He'd want the people to fight against government oppression and fight for the truth and fight for the future of Britain.
Elon, we are incredibly grateful for your time. We know what a busy man you are. Why is it important for you to be here today speaking at this Unite the Kingdom event?
Well, I'm of primarily British heritage, British ancestry. I want Britain to be greater than it ever has been. I want Britain to remain Britain. I think there's something beautiful about being British. And what I see happening is a destruction of Britain. Initially a slow erosion, but a rapidly increasing erosion of Britain with massive uncontrolled migration, a failure by the government to protect innocent people, including children who are getting gang raped. It's unreal. The government has failed in its duty to protect its citizens, which is a fundamental duty of government. This has got to stop. There needs to be massive government reform in Britain. And the people need to be in charge, not some bureaucracy that doesn't care.
Elon, I believe that's what we've started today. Power by the people, sending a message worldwide. Elon, you spend an incredible lot of money on X. Why is free speech so important to you?
Well, I believe you can't get to the truth of things without freedom of speech, without active debate. There's so many on the left that want to just crush debate and put people in prison just for talking, as you were, just for speaking their mind. The essence of democracy is it should be a government for the people, by the people. In fact, this is a government against the people and not for the people. This is why everyone is gathered here today, is something's got to be done. This is unacceptable.
What is the best thing about working in the TV and film industry? Oh, God. Well, it depends. It depends who you are and what you like. Some people have a horrendous time. I mean, I'd like to say, okay, for me, it's that I love those things. It's that I love TV. I can't believe my luck that I'm working in my favourite thing. My favourite form of entertainment, I'd say. But what's the best thing? Why do I like it so much? It's coming up with the ideas. Above all else, obviously the money's great. It's nice to do well. I like everything. Writing, directing, producing, acting. I even like the marketing of it to a certain extent. I just like, because I know that's part of it. But my favourite thing is coming up with an idea. When I come up with an idea, I get an adrenaline rush. I go, oh my God. Oh, can I do that? That is the best. That's the best thing that I've reached a level or demanded that if I have an idea, I want to do it my way. So the creative process, that's the answer. Doing something I love and coming up with the ideas. And there's lots of frustrating things. Things go wrong, and politics getting involved. People, you can't say that. You can fucking say that. Stop treating people like idiots. That's like worrying about a heckler. The way they treat things in like TV and film, and one person complains, oh, we better look at this. No, don't look at it. You wouldn't look at, if a heckler shouts your shit, you wouldn't go, oh, okay, I'm going, bye. You go, shut the fuck up. What do you know? So I don't know why people pander so much to a few people not liking it. They don't have to fucking watch it. But apart from that, I like it. I even like that bit. I even like annoying some people. Any psychiatrists watching?
First of all, I had so much fun. It's a blessing to be able to know him. And Michael's like a king. He was like a modern day king. And we did a lot of fun stuff. I used to just, I couldn't wait to hang out with him when we had a chance to. But we would do stuff like go to the movies. And Michael was so famous, he had to disguise himself. And we would come downstairs. I'd be like, where's Michael? And Michael would be covered up like, I'm over here, Chris. I'm here. I said, Michael, that's you? Yeah, Chris. I thought we was going to the movies. You're not even dressed. I am dressed, Chris. I just can't go in the movies. We got to disguise it a little bit. I said, okay. So we go in the movies, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to be secret, too. I'm hiding myself. Then Michael laughing louder than anybody. Everybody know Michael's laughing.
Right.
He's like, I was like, Michael, shut up. They're going to find you in here. It's going to be a riot.
Have you ever worn a disguise in public so you were not recognised? I've thought about it. In fact, I quite like the idea of it, right? Having to wear a mask and sunglasses. I always wear sunglasses anyway, and a baseball cap, right? I thought the mask would be amazing. I'll be anonymous. I walk down the street, and people are going, hi, Ricky. So, I don't know, is my nose a giveaway? Is that big, blobby, calm? I know the mask would have been there, wouldn't it? I had sunglasses on. They must know. Oh, there's a bloke here who's walking like a chimp. As Ricky. How is it? He's got chimp ability. I'm trying to get chimp ability to walk with it, to be cheeky, and laugh like a chimp, out and walk, have short legs. He's got chimp ability. Oh dear.
We did one time. We went to a mall. We was out. Michael wanted to go to the record store or something. And he forgot he was famous. He was like, I gotta go to the mall. Go to the mall. And we finally said, Michael, you can't go in the mall, man. You forgot who you are. He said, well, let's go. And it was only thing was in the car was a Spider-Man mask. So Michael said, I'll put this on. We'll go in and we get. I said, Michael, you can't do that. Spider-Man ain't gonna just be walking through the mall. Ain't nobody. They gonna know it's you, Michael. He's like, no, he won't. Chris, it'll work. It'll work. We go in the mall, and he was getting away with it until people figured it out because I was with him, and he was like, Chris, is that Michael Jackson in that Spider-Man mask? No, that's Spider-Man. That's Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, the mall went crazy, and they had to scoot us out. You should have seen it. It was
my God.
It was great. We had a lot of fun, though. He was great.
The only time I've thought about being in disguise, I think, is probably at something like a concert where it's a lot of public and there's drinking and you've got to be in the... So I don't worry about it at the theatre because you can get a box or away from... In a restaurant, people don't bother you. Walking around, people don't bother you. But at an Iggy Pop concert, when you're in the crowd, that's when I wish big beard. Or just someone else. Just Michael Jackson mask. People going, short fat Michael Jackson at this concert. But I've never done it, no. But I also think if that people recognise you as a guy, they go, how fucking mental is that? That's Ricky Gervais in a disguise. What? Why is he undercover? Why is he? But yeah, sometimes you walk into a shop to buy pants and you wish, I wish I'd have to have a conversation about pants. But it's no big deal.
So I'm going to mention that it happened not when I was, all over the media every day in Hollywood on talk shows, introducing movies, blah, 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 and actually sleeping with loads of women. It happened when I started to talk about Moderna, Pfizer, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and exploitation and manipulation at the highest level. I know that for years, my promiscuity was exploitative. As a famous rich dude, sleeping around, having sex in bathrooms, sleeping with multiple people at once, using the fact that I had massive access to having sex with strangers and was doing it, that's pretty crazy and excessive. And there's no question that that is sinful, broken behaviour that hurts people. And I beg for forgiveness, and I'm given forgiveness, and I beg for salvation. But what happened in this weird liminal space is that behaviour got metastasised and reformed retrospectively into criminal conduct by competing media companies working with groups like Logically and Crisp, working with legacy media companies, collaborating in an unprecedented way in order to go back to, for years and years, talk to people like, have you got a story about Russell Brand? What about that? Well, other people have bravely come forward. What if we shift that? What if we shift this a little bit? What if we tweak that? Now it goes from, instead of being a heel and a fool and greedy, and and in some aspects of the culture, a playboy, a womanizer, a gadabout, a player. It was reformed into, no, this guy's not like all those other famous womanizers that we know are out there, that sometimes have to put out injunctions, that sometimes have to pay lawyers a lot of money to keep stories quiet. No, you're in this different category here, all of a sudden, of the most appalling criminals known. All the while in my country now, there's this explosion that there are actual grooming gangs that are raping and abusing little girls and young women at an almost institutional and inconceivable level. And it appears that the media and government have repressed and ignored those stories for reasons that I find difficult difficult to understand, but the sort of a loose way of describing it is multiculturalism. Now, in that, Michael Schellenberger, how is it that I, as an individual, say, hey, listen, it was wrong that I was a womanizer like that. I don't think I'm in a discrete category away from lots of other womanizers, so I hope you're going to get to their investigation sometime down the line. I've got a list of names of other people you might want to look at for womanizing. Not that I'm a telltale.
Great point. I think you're afraid of making mistakes that are undoable, or that obviously you don't make mistakes like I'm going to go sailing pissed because you go, oh, that was a mistake, I'm dead. But I think if you mean mistakes in art and trying stuff, I think that's exactly right. Like stand-up, every night I go out and I try something. You could say it's a mistake. It didn't get a laugh, so I have to change it. And it doesn't get a laugh. But it's odd to call them a mistake because it led to where you're not. If you're okay now and happy where you are, you wouldn't say you lived a life of mistakes, even though they might have been at the time, because they led to something else. Like if you want to get to the top of a ladder, you have to put your foot on the first rung. You don't go, oh, that's a mistake, I'm meant to be at the top. You go, no, yeah, you're on your way. So I think mistakes are exactly what you need to make at the time. You might not even know the mistakes at the time, and you do learn from them because you improve. So, and again, it depends on what type of mistake. If you've got a lot of money and you go, right, I'm going to make t-shirts. I've got 2 designs. You spend all your money on one design. You make 1 million of one and 1,000 of the other. And the ones that you've done 1,000 of, they sell out immediately. And the ones you've done 1 million of, you didn't sell one. Well, that's a big mistake because you've blown all your money. So I think it depends what you mean by the mistake. So, but yeah, to ease things out there and try stuff, I think that's exactly right. I don't know why particularly for me, like writing and doing stand-up, that's why you've got to try things out that might not work. You've got to take the silences or the groans. You're finding the funny. And it's immediate feedback. They tell you your mistake. It's evolution. Evolution, there's a very good example. All genetic mutations, they're a mistake, but they might be advantageous. You know? You just don't know. We'll see. If you survive, well, it wasn't a mistake, was it? Because you're still here.
But more importantly, what are we going to do about the morality? If indeed it is sinful and wrong to sleep around like that, what are we going to do about, like, firstly, the massive criminal, exploitative, evil grooming gangs? Let's get to that. The extraordinary number of people in politics that seem to have weird connections to or various circuits, groups and rings, whether that's around Epstein or people in Hollywood and Diddy, and that's not just people in Hollywood. What do we do about that? How do I personally handle it? And what does it tell us about our shifting culture, these tectonic plates that have moved around, and the people that get caught in the cogs when a culture suddenly decides, of course, I'm going to mention that it happened not when I was, all over the media every day in Hollywood on talk shows, introducing movies, blah, 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 and actually sleeping with loads of women. It happened when I started to talk about Moderna, Pfizer, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, right, and exploitation and manipulation at the highest level.
Amazing. Well, what's been happening? First of all, thank you for all your well wishes and inquiries about my little incident. So, what happened was, when was it? What day was it? Wednesday night. About 1 a.m. at night, I'm asleep. Oh, and a pain in my sort of side woke me up. Like a shooting pain. That never happens. So, oh God, what was that? And it happened again. And my first thought was obviously liver cancer. Right? And in the middle of the night, that praise, you're convinced. Well, that is it. I've blown it, you know. And I got another pain. Oh God. And then I felt sick, and I went to throw up, but I couldn't. Which I thought, maybe it's stomach cancer, right? And then I couldn't be sick. There was nothing there. But the pain of the vomiting was incredible. It was an intensity. And you forget how bad vomiting is. You know what I mean? You just forget how awful. I mean, never mind the illness and thinking you're going to die. You can't breathe. And I think I'm going to choke. I think that I'm not going to get my breath back between it. And the spasm, like the next day, even when I was over it, if I coughed, my ribs, I thought, I've ripped my stomach lining here. So, right, all this is happening in my head as well. And then that happened a few times, and I started sweating and cold sweating. I thought, what is this? It's coronavirus. I've had that before. I called it off one of my nieces, or great nieces, one Christmas. They were, everyone got ill. And again, that happened in the middle of the night as well. So I sort of started recognising it. Oh, Jesus. That didn't stop me thinking at one point that it might have been radiation sickness. I just thought, well, it could be. You know what I mean? You never know. Someone might have been walking behind me with a bit of plutonium once. Right? But anyway, I was pretty sure after a couple of hours this was coronavirus. So I was trying to fight it then, and then it started. The other end started, which is a relief, really, because I'd rather it come out that way than fire on my face. You know what I mean? Because diarrhea, you go, whatever. You go, it's not me. I can't, it's just happening, right? Emptying, like just pulling the plug. But, I think everything, I'd rather everything came out that way. And then I was still sort of wretched as well. And then nothing was coming, and then a bit of sort of brown stuff. I thought, is that bile? Or am I vomiting from my ass? Right? Because I know sort of too much but not enough. Because I knew that a cyanide makes, reverse peristalsis from the bowel. So you die of vomiting your own. Right? So I thought, I've had some cyanide. But anyway, in general, give me diarrhea over vomiting. Not even vomiting, retching without the relief of sick. Is this interesting? Is this what you tuned in for? Now, has anyone talked about sick and shit as much in any broadcast ever? So anyway, it was at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rock, and it's both ends, right? And I know a lot of people during coronavirus, they've told me that they were sitting on the toilet and throwing up in the bath. Now, because I've got a bit of cash, my bath is miles from the toilet, right? So I couldn't do that. So I was having to spin round. I was trying and time it. I was going, no, quick, sit down. The old Roxy Music song, Both Ends Burning, springs to mind. So anyway, then I couldn't even, water made me feel sick. I couldn't even rehydrate because water gave me the sort of urge to throw up and it hit my stomach. And then eventually, what worked, I had a Lemsip and a Gaviscon, is it Gaviscon? And it sort of worked well. I could lay down without wanting to be sick. If I moved, I wanted to be sick, but I could lay down. And it was all over by about 6 o'clock that morning. I still couldn't get up. I couldn't eat. So I think I got up about
I had half a banana for lunch in bed, and I think I eventually got up about 3 o'clock that afternoon, and it was all over. I still felt weak. I mean, I couldn't even face a beer till about 8 o'clock that night. So, yeah, that's the story. Unbelievable. Don't want that again. That's the other thing, you know it's going to happen again one day, don't you? You know it's going to, you know. Anyway, questions. Keena, do you get any anxiety before playing gigs at massive venues? Yes. Such as the States? If so, how do you deal with this? Well, if you mean the Hollywood Bowl, yes. And I don't usually. People say, do you get nervous for a gig? And I say, no. I'd never get nervous for a gig. I know what I'm doing. The warm-ups, I don't know laugh or not, but that's what it's about, and you enjoy that. And then by the time you're playing arenas, you know it works, and it sort of works every night. I think the only time I've got nervous is like the Golden Globes, because it's live and there's 100 million people watching. So if you make one mistake, everyone sees it and you can't take it back. But I don't usually get nervous for a gig. But I did with the Hollywood Bowl, and I don't know whether it was the sense of occasion or it was the unknown or it was so big. The sound check, I walked out of the sound check and I went, because it's not just a big venue, it sort of goes on forever, and it goes into nature. There's no walls. It just sort of, the seats go on forever, and into the trees. It's like a natural, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a valley, and they built this state. And when I went out, the crowd were amazing. And it was you lose your nerves immediately. Actually, as soon as you walk out, you're at work, and you forget everything. It's just a gig then. But the weird thing about it was, all my fears they disappeared. I was thinking, what if they're not listening? Of course they were listening. Some of them have paid thousands of dollars. They're not going to go and not listen, right? So, but these play on your mind. What if it rains? It didn't. First of all, I said when the promoter said, I said, what about the echo? So big. Well, there's no echo because there's no walls. Oh yeah, of course. Science. So it was great immediately. But with the thing that it's built in, like an aircraft hangar, like the shape of like a sky dish, right? There's birds roosting. So I went out and there's a roar of the crowd, but all these birds were sort of woken up. So the crowd couldn't hear them, but I could hear. I was like playing a gig in an aviary. So it was quite sweet. It was quite like a Disney cartoon. So yeah, I don't usually get anxious, but I did there. How do you deal with it? You've just got to go. It's what's the worst that can happen? You have to do it once. You know, you're not filming it. It's not like, you know, I've got to get everything perfect. You just play with it, and you just go into work. Really, you just got to go. You're going to work, and you think, oh, what a privilege! This is a privilege. This is amazing. But the thing that gets me through it is they've paid money to see you. They want to like it. You know what I mean? 20,000 people don't buy a ticket to go there and go, this is rubbish. You know, they're your fans, really. If I walked out, you know, if, I don't know, One Direction were playing and I went out and said, can I do 20 minutes, lads? I might struggle. But they're all there to see me, so it couldn't be more conducive to being a brilliant gig. And it was amazing, and yeah, it is still surreal. So thanks to everyone who bought a ticket and everyone who tried, and yeah, it was an amazing night. And the promoter said you could do this again, and I went, when? And they went, do it again in 18 months. And I thought, I was very flattered, but I think I'd quite like it to be... There's part of me that goes, I could do even better, and it'd be amazing to play it twice. But I think there's something amazing about playing it once, if that makes sense. It makes it more special. That time I played the Hollywood Bowl. But we'll see. Sam, when you do your live shows in countries where English isn't their first language, do you have to adjust your sets at all? Do some jokes not land as well? Well, I only play countries where English is their second language, but they are fluent in it. So, and also, any country you play, they're only going if they speak English. They know I'm not doing it in their language. So even if wherever you play, if you play, a big country, you only need a few thousand people that are fluent in your language, and they're the only ones that go along. And also there are certain countries that there is no language barrier at all. Scandinavia, Benelux countries, cosmopolitan areas of most of Europe speaks English. English people are the lazy ones. No, I do make some... I probably do speak a bit clearer. Also, when I'm playing an overseas venue, I'm playing big venues because I'm only there one night. So I do play big venues. So you sort of speak clearer anyway. You speak to the back of the room and articulate a bit more. So that certainly helps. I talk about universal subjects. I'd never talk about what I watched on Channel 4 last night. I'd never talk about, British Big Brother. I talk about, universal subjects, Hitler, cancer, famine. Those dudes are evergreen. So I talk about universal subjects. The thing that sometimes catches you out, that even though they speak fluent English and I understand every word you say and your cultural references are universal, there was a thing in I think it was in Supernature where the line was it was then I realised I could kill myself. And in some countries it didn't get the laugh. And I thought, oh, they don't know what, that's a euphemism. They don't know, why would you kill yourself? They don't have that saying. So I had to change it to, then I realised I'd made a terrible mistake, right? So it's things like that you don't, and we use a lot of euphemism. We use a lot of sayings and euphemisms that we just take for granted. You can't have your cake and eat it, and people go, what do you mean you can't have your cake and eat it? What? So you don't realise that those euphemisms are really sort of parochial in a way. But outside that, everything works everywhere, really. I mean, certainly 99% of it. But yeah, you do think about those things. Ricky, have you got a stand-up venue on your bucket list? Where is your dream place? I haven't, because I wouldn't really know about them till I've played them. There's certainly places I go, oh my God, that was magical. I definitely want to play there again. And I think, given that if they speak fluent English, the venue probably makes more of a difference than the country in many ways. When you're playing 10,000 people are the same, but there are certainly magical venues and magical cities like, Dublin. Dublin's always amazing. It's always one louder. I think the Olympia in Paris was great. Rock and roll venues are really good. Those rock and roll sort of places that are sort of old, established venues. Victorian theatres are really good. They're packed in and they're shaped right. It's perfect for comedy. But now arenas are getting better. I didn't like arenas at first, but now arenas are built better with better acoustics and the better shape and better sound. And with the big screens, it's almost more intimate because they're at the event, and they can look up and see your facial expressions that they couldn't traditionally. Dream place. I like visiting places. I like finding out. So there's loads of places I haven't been. You know, what have I been to? I can't even work it out. A few % of the world. I heard. I think Afterlife certainly is big in South America. So I'd love to play somewhere like Argentina one day. It's just too far, isn't it? I've heard there's a new plane that goes to America in 50 minutes. I'll probably be before it's. I don't know though. Technology's moving along, isn't it? So there, I'll fly around. I'll go. If I can get to anywhere in the world in a couple of hours, I will play everywhere. If it's really safe, I want someone else to test it first. I forget the name of the bloke who's doing it, but let him test it. I want to know I want the stats. I want to see how. If they say this is safer than crossing the road, that is a particularly surreal thing to do. For a British stand-up comedian to play the Hollywood Bowl, let alone sell it out, is pretty amazing. But yes, I don't take any of this for granted. I wake up every day thinking I've got to do something here. Got to keep, you try and keep improving and keep interest in it, and you're grateful. No, I'm not one of those that thinks I can do anything and it just lasts forever. You have to work at it. In fact, in a way, it sort of gets harder because you're judged by your last thing. So the better your last thing is, the harder it is for you to beat it. So yeah, I do. I can't believe it. I mean, I always look back to my beginnings. Really, I'm very, very grateful, and I know how lucky I am in a way, because there is an amount of luck. It could have happened to someone else. There's loads of people that are as good and work as hard, and it doesn't happen. Yeah, of course I did. Are you a vegan for health or political reasons? Well, neither. I think you mean ethical reasons. I'm a vegan because of ethical reasons. I think it is probably healthier in certain aspects, particularly for things like colon cancer and probably obesity and cholesterol, certainly. But you can be an unhealthy vegan. I'm living proof. And you can be a very healthy meat eater. So it's not that. No, it's ethical reasons. I couldn't sort of live with myself anymore. I tried to convince myself that it was okay being a vegetarian, but then I found out what has to happen for you to have eggs. Like they gas the baby male chicks or liquidise them just because they want. It's horrible. And I told myself that I only ate free range, and I found out that free range meant they have to have 2 feet instead of, bolted in a cage. And then dairy. I just couldn't, and I don't go around lecturing people about it because I think it's a slow process, and I think people dig in if I started lecturing people, telling them they were bad. And also I think there is something to be said with, even if you're wrong, that vegetarianism isn't any more ethical than, eating meat. I think it's a step in the right direction psychologically, because I think all you can do is be better than you were yesterday. That's all. Just change the world a little bit, and giving up meat does make a difference to the world. There's this stat that if you eat meat every day, if you give up one day a week, we could feed another 100 million people, because just the amount of water and grain it takes to feed a cow to be eaten by a certain amount of people is like ridiculous times the amount of the nutrition you can get from plant-based things, you know, cutting down rainforests to feed cows and stuff. But, you know, I don't want to, because I think that annoys people and it puts them off and it makes them feel bad. And I just think you've got to change. You've got to change for your own reasons. But yeah, I do it for ethical reasons as opposed to health. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, would it, to eat plant-based stuff for health and then drink a bottle of red wine? So no, I just want to go. Oh, I didn't any animals today. It's that, really. How does it feel knowing that Afterlife has helped so many people? Amazing. It is the best thing about it, and I never thought it would be. And I've never done anything, you know, in entertainment. In fact, I've been belligerent. I've gone, you know, art isn't to, you know, change people's values or to preach. It's to entertain. And I still did that with Afterlife, and it was a happy coincidence that it did touch people in that way, which shows that if you do what's passionate, then you probably do make a difference anyway. You don't have to try, if you know what I mean. I mean, you can try not to harm anyone, but I just think if you do something that's genuinely interesting and entertaining and means something to you, then it will mean something to other people. But yeah, it feels, I mean, just the sheer amount of people that watched it. I've heard it's like 125 million now, which is crazy. And that figure is who watched the whole series. I know that some, I think it was like BBC iPlayer, when they say that, 12 million people watched this show, I looked at it, what they actually mean is that if it's like a 6-part thing, they mean that 2 million people watched each episode. So they go, oh, that's 12. No, it isn't. That's 2 million people watched the whole episode. If I did that with Afterlife, what would that be? It'd be like 700 million people. No, 120 million people watched the whole show, which is staggering enough. Yeah, and that's what makes me worried about the next thing. What if the next thing I do only gets 50 million? I feel like a failure. I see these boy bands, right? So these poor boy bands, and they're all at 17, and they've had 3 number ones. And I know that when they get a number 2, their record company goes, "You bad boys, you give us, you're getting no more money. There's some other kids here." So it's terrible. You mustn't think about those things. You mustn't think about those things. It's lovely. You go, "Oh, that's good," and then you mustn't think about it. But you do. How far have you got with the new series? Oh, Doris. Oh God. I mean, I've got 2 things on the go now that are almost at pilot stage. In fact, I just thought there's a 3rd thing as well, that might happen. But I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to do one of them. I don't know which one to do. I don't know whether to do both. They've both been sort of greenlit, if I want to do them, by Netflix. I can't tell you about it, but anyway, one's animation and I'm in one. But I've got the idea and the synopsis, and I've probably got a cobbled together a pilot script. But I'm enjoying stand-up too much. I would be happy to never do another show again. It's got to that stage. And not just because I think I can't beat Afterlife or whatever, but I don't know what there is to beat, full stop. But there is something to beat with stand-up. I can change it every night. I can go with the flow. I can see the world. I can be, I feel that I'm braver in stand-up than anything else I do as well. But I do love the other thing as well. I also feel guilty. I feel like I should be working in the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like you've got to write an essay, and you think, oh, I've got a few weeks yet, and it just gets closer. You go, oh, I've got to write an essay soon. That's why I never give myself deadlines, because that'll just stress me out. I'll do it when it happens, or not. And there might be another idea that comes along and beats them both, you know, so I don't know.
photograph. How are you spelling deaf there, lads? D-E-F. So, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Good tune there. No snobbery. Not on this show, mate. How are you? Hello. We said Friday. Is this interesting broadcasting? Honestly, got nothing to beat though. There's nothing to beat. The shit that I see that's being broadcast at the moment in the name of entertainment. I mean, from, shows that, fair enough, they used to be studio shows with a lot of effort and stuff, and now they're put together on Zoom. Right, that's fair enough. But it's like everyone's having a go now, aren't they? Some people are having a second bite at the cherry. They can't believe their luck. They got we'll have you on. Fucking hell. So we're really milking one idea on Twitter. Again, nothing wrong with that. Whatever gets you through. I told you I finished The Last Dance. Brilliant. Just give the Emmy. Just give that the Emmy. Oh, Emmys. I've got no chance of an Emmy. It started coming through, like people ask me to do this podcast for like Emmy consideration. Afterlife has no chance. No chance at all. Because it's going to be there's the same sort of 5 big network shows that are going to be nominated. They're like a juggernaut, a machine. 6,000 Emmy voters. Why are they going to vote for me? Particularly after the Golden Globes. They all hate me. Yeah. He said we're all disgusting. Should we vote for his Netflix show? No, let's not. Also, I think people will go, this isn't a comedy. It's not people talking in a funny voice and falling over. There's no laughter. There's a man who's sad. I can't believe I've been nominated as many times as I have in the Emmys. Was it 24 times for writing, directing, things like extras, Derek, stand-up. I tell you, I've got a chance of another nomination. Writing my monologue for the Golden Globes again. I've had a couple of nominations for that, so that might get me another nom. Who cares? So if any Emmy voters are watching, vote for me. Be on the right side of history. It doesn't matter. You realise it's very exciting still. And the first time you get nominated for anything or win anything, you think, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." And then when you see the idiots who get nominated, like it's not that special. And the idiots who fucking vote, and the reasons people vote for things and stuff. But it's nice. It's always nice to be around in the mix, to still be there. I'm talking like I'm dead. This is me writing my own obituary. Yeah, good innings. He was always around. He always got nominated and did a bit of everything. Didn't he? He wrote a little bit and directed and acted. Did a stand-up. Did some children's books. Yeah, he had a good lazy bastard. He liked to drink. He was a nice lad. He stayed normal. Wasn't a nonce. Didn't kill anyone. Paid his taxes. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad for a top entertainer. Yeah, that'd do. Be long on the gravestone, wouldn't it? That'd be a long. God, Lou did lots of great stuff. Didn't kill anyone. Not a nonce. Paid his taxes. I'll be happy with that. Had a laugh. Any questions? Quimmy Savile. Someone just said Quimmy Savile. Oh, the other day when I explained to Americans who the outtakes where Ratty and the Nonce were shouting out nicknames like Quimmy Savile, Michael Parkin Bum, and all that. What was the other one? Harold Shitmum. I explained who they were, and I felt bad after, but I lumped in Michael Parkinson with Jimmy Savile and Harold Shipman. Right, now Harold Shipman was a murderer. Jimmy Savile was the world's most prolific nonce. Right, Michael Parkinson didn't do anything wrong. He was a nice man, at the top of his game. He was our greatest interviewer. I wasn't suggesting that he was in the same company as those two. I should make that clear. I've probably made it worse. What else has happened? Thanks for watching Afterlife 1 and 2, and the Willoughbys. That really took off. That yeah, done really, really well, according to Netflix. So I don't know if that's a reflection of lockdown, where people just like get their kids and watch this film, watch it again. But yeah, incredible all around the world. My first animated feature as one of the producers. So I'll do that again. That lot of work takes 3 years from beginning to end. Getting everything together, all the casting, but it takes a long time, but it's probably actually less work for me to do a voice and be involved than if it was a live action. Anything can happen. Obviously, the real work is for the animators and the director of all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it takes a long fucking time. Never did Jamie Redknapp. Jamie Redknapp, well, his name wasn't changed, and he's an ex-footballer who, as far as I know, has done nothing wrong either. These are just people asking me. I'm not just suddenly just shouting things out. Like, this is a man. What will they think of this, right? What if they found all these things like in 10 years' time and people didn't know a lockdown or why I was doing this? It just looks like the ramblings of a madman. And in 10 years' time, I probably will have lost my mind. I will be somewhere in a home somewhere. So they go, oh, that was the beginning of it. Just so he'd be sitting there talking to himself, drinking beer, going, Jamie Redknapp. Right, and then go, there's a cock in a drain. Maybe someone should do the best of. And by the best of, I mean the worst of these. Someone should put together the shittest, most mental, awful, banal moments of this. And I'll send it off. I say, can I do this? I want to do this show. Everyone's getting shit telly shows from doing this sort of shit. People are desperate. Absolute bollocks is getting made. So someone compile a 2-minute sizzle reel of the worst of these. Oh dear. How long's that? 13 minutes. Fucking hell. We're out of shit to say. Who cares? Where did I watch Bowie and Live Aid 35 years ago? In our shitty little flat on a tiny little television. I had like a coat hanger for an aerial It was about that big. Right? The flat it's the tiny little room that I talk about where I could open the fridge from the bed. Horrible. Shitty place. Dodgy landlord. Just horrible. And a telly that it was like the picture, you had to wiggle the coat hanger thing to try and get it. It was like, it's like 3 pictures superimposed. Watching snooker was fucking terrible. It honestly, it looked like atoms and wax. It's just about 1,000 balls and black and white, of course. So yeah, and I remember Bowie coming out, and it was incredible. If I remember right, he gave up a bit of his time to show a video when I had like a certain amount of time or 4 songs, and he said, show an important video on some of mine. Yeah, and I think that's when the world also looked at Queen in a different way, didn't they? That was their big. I mean, they're already huge, but their huge global break when everyone just thought, "Oh, Queen are amazing." I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I should do something else in animation. I think I'm really getting into that. It's good that. I mean, some of the best animation is absolutely brilliant. It's just things you obviously can't do. But I do like working with actors. I like that realism as well. What else? Queen stole that show. Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Bowie as well. Was it Friday, isn't it? Yeah. Is it another bank holiday, isn't it? How many have they had in May alone? That's a lot, isn't it? I've enjoyed doing this though. It's been nice, just chatting. No pressure, who gives a fuck? It's been like chatting to... You don't get to do this sort of thing. Even interviews, you're trying to be articulate and talk in sound bites and answer the question. Sometimes the questions are shit. Whereas this, I don't know. As I say, it's like a man in a padded cell. Just talking to I don't know who I'm talking to, really. I'm talking to you lot, but I don't know you, do I? Do you ever play darts? I used to love darts, yeah. I wasn't good. I never understood with darts. Right? You practice, obviously, I get that. But then you practice, and then you sort of get what you're aiming for. You get, 320s, the odd treble, right, and all that. And then one day you try and get the 20, and you get a 1, and then a 5, and then I go, what? Why? I just did it. It wasn't luck. Why can't I do it every time? So that annoyed me. Your favourite vacation spot? Well, not that we've had a vacation for 20 years, although flying around the world doing these gigs, I always make sure, well, one, I choose the nicest places in the world, obviously, the most beautiful capital cities, and, cities in America and Canada that I want to go to. So we spend some time there. So they're sort of little vacations. Even though I'm working, it's not like work, is it? It's fun. But the last time I had a week off and sat by a pool or a beach or something, which I need to do, that's like 25 years ago. We always liked Italy. Yeah, went there a few times. But obviously, no one's having a vacation yet. Everything's postponed, isn't it? It's my birthday soon. Postpone it. And I can stay 58. Until I celebrate my birthday, I'll stay 58. 58. Fucking hell. Doesn't feel that. I don't feel 58. I know I look it. If doctors open me up, they go, he's definitely fucking 58. Look at this. Look at that. The fuck is that? That's his liver, right? Oh, fucking hell. That just, is that blood? No, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Right? Well, that's fucked. This is his bowel. What the fuck is that? We can't put this back. We can't put this back in. I don't know what doctor's doing that, lifting out my insides and showing it round the theatre, making the nurse giggle. Look at that. Just go, oh, doctor, it's fucking hell. Doing a bit with my bits. Oh yeah. I wish I could do that though. I wish you could sort of pay to go in a specialised thing like you go in there, right? And you go in a pod, and first they do they irradiate all the shit, right? You got nothing in there. You got no fucking microbes and that done or sterile or whatever. Not that sort of sterile, you know what I mean? And then they give you some sort of blood transfusion. I haven't got science, right? And then they do like a colonic, but for everything they somehow, right? They take you all apart, scrub it, right? Wash it under the sink, like wash your liver under the sink, put that back in. Again, I'm not a qualified doctor, right? But that's what I wish they could do. Like we're doctor in the sense of Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Shipman. Yeah, I wish you could just have like taking your car, do everything. I can change the oil, pump the tyres up, sand down the rust. As good as new. Cheers. But no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Science says you can't do that. And who am I to argue with science? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. It still runs. I still think. I still eat and drink. I'm still working. I'm happy. What does it matter? Just a shell, isn't it? Just a thing. Just a blob of meat for a brain to live in. Again, I'm not a doctor or a poet, but you know what I mean? I'm a big fucking sack of movable meat that thinks. Doesn't matter what this is, does it? It gets me around. These are fucking putting food in my mouth, right? And juggling. They're the two main things, right? It all fucking works. Doesn't matter what it's like until it doesn't work anymore. And I just then stick me in, put fucking wheels on me, put me in some sort of bath on wheels and just get me round. I'd carry on doing shit. There we go. That should go in the. Could that get in the best of? We'll do it in the best of. Look, come on. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
I was talking to Carl Pilkington about Einstein, and he went, "What was so great about him?" I said, "Well, he formulated these amazing theories, like obviously relativity." And he went, "Yeah." He said, "I've heard about that." He said, "Thing is, E equals MC squared." He said, "I've never used that in my life." He said, "But the bloke who invented the video recorder," he said, "I watch one a week." Brilliant. Nailed. Einstein slammed.
Extrapolated back to a time when the entire universe, all 100 billion galaxies, each containing 100 billion stars, all that matter was crammed into a region the size of a single atom. Is that I mean,
so that's
so
because
weird.
most things are nothing, aren't they? So
Mo-
an
yeah.
atom is mostly nothing. A
Yeah.
fly in the Albert
Yeah.
Hall going
Well,
around a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, an atom mostly it's 10,000. The electron orbits the nucleus on a size about 10 to 100,000 times bigger than the atom. But
Right.
it's even smaller than that. Yeah.
So does it work though? Does that if that's a not just a metaphor? This is what annoys me. When I sooner or later I don't want the metaphor. I want to do the
real
truth.
thing.
So,
Yeah.
But to start with a metaphor, does the science work if every atom was the Albert Hall with a golf ball and a fly going around? Could every golf ball and fly in the universe fit into one Albert Hall?
Yes, but the problem is it stops being an atom because the atom is.
So can you squish that even more?
Oh yeah, you
So
are.
you're
At that
squishing-
point, the atoms don't exist because they couldn't.
So if we get down to what matter is, what is there? Is there? I like feeling stupid. I like it. Right.
Asking questions is never stupid.
Okay, so is there anything that is pure? Is there something as pure matter that can't be squished anymore?
That we don't know. We know that
Fuck you.
No, but that's the right answer.
You and your science.
Yeah, exactly.
What a fraud.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
How
We can
did-
all say that.
Exactly. you see?
Right. Okay, so
That's
okay.
the best
God.
not knowing is
Oh
a-
God. Right. Okay. So right. Hold on. Oh no. This is the other thing, right?
Okay,
Right.
okay,
So
good.
okay, we've done that.
Yeah,
We've
okay, we've done
atoms.
that,
No,
okay.
wait. So, there was no time before time.
That's a good question. Well, we don't know.
There was
I
a
said.
wait. So there was a place.
Well,
This is what kills me. Okay, so let's get that right. Everything that exists, matter, antimatter, everything,
Yeah.
space, time, nothingness.
It didn't have to exist. That's the great thing. It can spontaneously pop into existence. Space, time, matter, and you don't need any supernatural shenanigans. That's why I wrote this book called The Universe of Nothing. It's amazing to me that science has come to the point saying, well, we don't know, but it's plausible that you can start with no space, no time,
Right.
and poop, because the laws of quantum mechanics, space and time suddenly
if
pop into existence.
Okay, so if we take let's get to what's physical and
Yeah,
real.
okay,
So
okay.
everything that exists now was in the thing that started small and atom, right?
And a lot more than what exists. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. No, it's really weird.
We've lost some bits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've lost a lot.
Oh, fuck me. Where's that
Yeah.
then?
Where's that?
Nowhere.
It just disappeared. Yeah, it's nowhere.
Where is it?
Exactly. It just dissipated. Yeah, it's
Right.
I mean, the internet. Let me point it out.
This is what annoys me about quantum physics.
Yeah.
It overturns all the things I held sacred in science.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Which is what's
counterintuitive,
Which
and
is
it's
what's
like-
wonderful. That's what you
They
should
wanna
love
go-
it. You should love it because nothing's sacred.
But I mean from like Newton's laws to
Yeah.
relativity, which I had down.
No, but they're not wrong. The great thing about
Right.
science is no, they work.
They're just contingent as opposed to what.
But everything's contingent.
But they're just out of interest. This, okay, right, okay. The uncertainty principle.
Okay, good.
Okay, fuck me.
Isn't that
Right,
great?
where do I start? I know so little that I don't know what question to ask. That's how fucking frustrating this is for
Well,
me. I haven't got the language to ask you the right question. If you had a time machine, what era or moment in history would you travel back to witness, experience? I've thought about that a lot as well. I love time travel. As much as, it would be great to go back and see dinosaurs roaming around or hunter-gatherers or Vikings or whatever, it's dangerous, isn't it? It's dangerous. So if I'm there, can I be killed? Can I be murdered or beaten up? Can I die of a horrible disease that I'm not inoculated against now? Can I be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger? If not, I'll probably I won't go back before the 60s. Dentistry. If I'm time traveling, I've got a toothache. Have I got to go to a dentist that just pulls it out with his fucking foot on your chest, with me screaming and spurting blood everywhere? That's my question. I probably would go back to my time. You'd want to go back, and it would be fascinating to see your family, and sort of loved ones that weren't around. I mean, that would be mind blowing. I did think of I had a bit on this tour once. I don't do it anymore. I didn't really take off. But it was about when people say, if you go back in time and witness a event, everyone says, the Gettysburg Address, signing of the Magna Carta, all this sort of stuff, the French Revolution. And I think it would be sort of somewhat scientific. I'd be fascinated. Like, I've talked about this before, I think, on here, that, Einstein working out E equals MC squared. But then I realised that, he didn't have it it wasn't just one day, was it? He just didn't sit down and go, oh, E equals MC squared. He probably worked on that for years, so it would be pretty boring in real time, wouldn't it? Me just watching him in his study for 6 months, he was going, E equals MC, and me shouting, fucking squared, you dopey. Also, if I can't get hurt, if I'm just like invisible in the corner and watching Einstein for hours, he probably had a lot of wank breaks. So I'd just be there with my eyes shut for 3 minutes. Is he finished? Right, get on with it. E equals MC squared. I think it would be sort of, it would be pop culture things, I think. Because it would have a resonance with me now, wouldn't it? Like when I came back, I'd go, Jane goes, where you been? I go, watching Elvis. Just go, what? You know what I mean?